Yeah, it's coming up to 7:26. Let me tell you, if I was a barrister or a judge, I couldn't get my wig on fast enough.
Exactly. If you've done years and years of legal training and you've got to the position of being a barrister or a judge, you'd want the wig.
You'd want it. You want to show off. I mean, well, it's not even just showing off, is it? But it's a point of status. It is the uniform. It should bring an element of respect with it.
And I always believe, well, exactly, and I always believed that that's what it was about, so that everybody looked the same. You know, the law, the people representing the law in that courtroom were all arguing from the same level. Whether
black, white, male, female, thin, fat, or anything else. You've got the wig on, therefore, you get the respect. Anyway, they won't have to wear the wig in court very soon. I mean, they can if they want, but they're not going to oblige to, which ends that 350-year-old tradition. Yeah, apparently the rule was brought in, but it wasn't until the 17th century. You imagine it goes back well before then, but not. It was brought in to bring a sense of formality to the courtroom, and without it, or without the rule, some will, some won't. The judge surely must. I mean, are we losing something that makes Britain rather special, unique, different? I think so. Let's talk to Reform Councillor Jaymey McIvor and political advisor Pablo O'Hana. Good to see you both this morning. Pablo, what do you think? I mean, this is a key piece of tradition as well as being an important part of the legal uniform, isn't it?
It is part of our tradition, but it's left over from sort of Georgian days, and the sort of law kept it as a tradition. But I think, the guidance says use them when they help, skip them when they don't. I think fundamentally our justice system is about fairness, free speech, jury trials, and also the confidence to modernise. We're not losing ourselves here. We're sort of secure enough in our identity and in our culture to be practical and to ensure that our law and our court system remains fit for purpose and fit for the future. So I think, there is a slightly more serious issue about backlogs and support for victims and legal aid, which I think, our energy might be better spent fixing that rather than concerned about headwear.
Jaymey, is it even important?
Well, there are far more important things that the legal system should be worrying about rather than trying to rip out more British identity, more British culture, more historical significance. But something more important, I noticed what you said about you'd want to wear it because of pride and status as someone that studied lots of years of law. I can share how I would probably feel the same if I had become a barrister. But there's something more important than being able to wear it for your pride in your profession. Actually, it's anonymity. That's one of the most profound things that the British legal system has. And actually, when you look at legal systems across the world, and many of them are actually televised, almost like reality TV, one thing I always notice when I'm watching those is how lucky I am to be British and how our courts have tradition. And of course, it's our legal system that showed the world. And the idea that because of the colour of somebody's skin and because of the type of hair that they might have, we are now going to break that tradition when many people of all backgrounds, of all cultures, of all skin types and hair types have operated in this legal system. Don't forget the British Empire across the world has a legal system that would have used these traditions. It is, I think, typical of modern Britain and typical of the woke left trying to change things. It's some sort of shame on Britain, I find, when I see these sorts of stories. I think we should stand against it.
That's an interesting point, Pablo, isn't it? If you boil it down to effectively saying, as you said about the uniform element of this, it shows whatever people's own personal feelings or prejudices or assumptions. If you are in a courtroom and you are wearing one of the wigs of whatever description it is, whether you're a judge or a barrister, then it doesn't matter who you are, what you look like, what skin colour you have or anything else, you are due the respect of an officer of that court. I mean, that's quite an important leveller, isn't it?
But I think, their respect is commanded by their position and where they are. I don't think it matters, what you wear. I mean, when we have head teachers and teachers, they can wear whatever they want. They're still in the positions of power that they are to deliver the lessons in the curriculum. I don't think that there isn't a necessity to have wearing this headpiece just to command the respect of the court. They are the judge. That's not going to change. They go through a lot to get there. And I don't think that we need to kind of force, a sort of slightly ancient tradition on them, as much as it is part of our history. But there are lots of things in our history that at some point you do have to move on from.
No.
And as I say, the uniqueness of our system is how open and equal the treatment is before the law. Those are still intact. That tradition and that ability to modernise is what helps our legal system and indeed our culture and country to survive and to kind of adapt for the modern future.
No, I'm sorry. This is just what the British people are sick and tired with. Our historic traditions do not at some point have to become replaced or removed because we're trying to modernise. This is our country. It's our culture. You do not see other countries around the world strip out tradition because people don't fancy it anymore. This is what the British people are sick and tired with. Before we know it, people will be told not to sing the national anthem because it's too traditional and not modern. They'll be told, oh, it's okay if you're chairman of the council, you don't have to wear your chains in the meeting because, it might be heavy on your neck. This is just the ridiculous situation this country is finding itself in. What next? It's like people go out there hunting down British tradition and British culture and try and do whatever they can to find things and change them. I think it's actually an insult to the British people when we hear that argument made. I cannot believe that somebody has just said that on your programme. We cannot have a country where our traditions just slowly get trimmed away because I hate to say it, but I think it's the woke left and it's the woke left ideology that is infecting every single public organisation in this country.
Well, you both had your say on that one and we appreciate your time, both of you. Thank you very much indeed.